What's the first thought that comes to mind if you're asked to watch a 3D movie? If it's a knee-jerk reaction fueled by memories of headaches, discomfort, and regret, you're like most people. I was the same way. Growing up, I hated 3D movies. The glasses gave me headaches, and wearing them over prescription glasses was uncomfortable. The image always looked dim and distracting, and I'm not alone in that experience. As noted in TFT Central's analysis of 3D display technologies, active shutter systems in particular reduce brightness and can cause flicker and visual fatigue for some viewers, so that discomfort many people remember, it's not imaginary. Fast forward to today. I now own over 110 3D Blu-ray movies. So what changed? It started with my old Sony Bravia 3D TV sitting unused in my basement for over a decade. One day I tried its built-in 3D demo mode, and for the first time, the 3D looked convincing. That sent me down a rabbit hole to understand what I had misunderstood for years. Because here's the truth. 3D isn't one thing. It's multiple technologies, and not all of them are equal. According to RTINGs.com 2020 Technology Review, there are two main home 3D systems, active shutter and passive polarized. Passive 3D displays both left and right images simultaneously using polarized glasses. Active shutter glasses rapidly alternate images between eyes, syncing with the display. That difference matters. Active shutter systems can appear dimmer because each eye only sees the screen half the time. Passive systems, especially on bright backlit LED panels, often feel more comfortable and stable. And then there's how the movie itself is stored. Blu-ray 3D uses something called multi-view video coding, or MVC, a format that stores one full 1080p image and embeds additional depth data to reconstruct the second eye's view. This allows for consistent grain, detail, and synchronization between both eyes. By contrast, side-by-side 3D compresses two separate images into one frame. Even full side-by-side divides the frame width between eyes, and compression differences can introduce subtle artifacts. When 3D isn't perfectly aligned and consistent, your brain notices. And 3D is only good when it's 100% good. So if the technology can work, why did it fail? A 2017 video by Vox titled "Why 3D Movies Failed" explains that after the success of Avatar, studios rushed to convert films into 3D to capitalize on higher ticket prices. According to Vox, studios rushed to convert films to 3D, often sacrificing quality. One of the most infamous examples is Clash of the Titans. Its own director later admitted that the 3D conversion was famously horrible and called it a gimmick. Reviews describe the depth as flat and practically non-existent. Gulliver's Travels was similarly criticized, with Blu-ray reviewers noting that the 3D layers appeared flat and lacked convincing separation. Even bigger releases like The Amazing Spider-Man received mixed reactions. Some reviewers described its 3D as low-key and underwhelming, while forum discussions criticized it as flat and distracting in dialogue scenes. And iRobot, when converted to 3D years later, was described in reviews as having significantly less 3D pop, with foreground elements appearing pasted onto backgrounds rather than naturally integrated. When someone's first experience with 3D is one of those films, it's easy to understand why they'd never want to try it again. According to a 2025 technology summary by Eureka, 3D TVs faded from the market due to limited content, consumer frustration with glasses, and inconsistent viewing experiences. The demand simply dropped. But here's the part most people never experienced. At the end of the format's life, some TVs were finally capable of displaying full 1080p per eye, fully taking advantage of Blu-ray 3D, instead of just 720p. Ironically, just as the technology matured, it disappeared. Today, 3D films are mostly confined to theaters. Many 3D versions are never released for home viewing at all, and that's unfortunate. Because when done correctly, with a bright passive display, proper calibration, and a well-authored MVC Blu-ray, films like Pacific Rim or Jurassic Park can feel double immersive in a way that standard 2D simply cannot replicate. My love for film deepened when I paired 3D with a proper surround sound system. This experience stopped feeling like a gimmick and started feeling intentional. 3D didn't fail because depth is a bad idea. It failed because rushed conversations, inconsistent standards, and poor early experiences turned audiences away. Knowing what I know now, I can't help but ask, if your first 3D experience had been the right one, do you think you'd feel a bit different about it?